Schatz, huh? Get my bread. You wanna be in the live stream? Oh, okay. You can be in the live stream. As long as you don't eat my bread. Schatz. Hello, hello everyone. Oscar wants to be part of the live stream today. I know. Yeah. You've been alone all day yesterday, I know. Oscar was very upset, not really, but so yesterday we went to the zoo 5K. So we had a 5K run yesterday, but Oscar couldn't come because it was partly going through the zoo in Nashville. So we had to leave Oscar at home, and he was very upset that he was at home by himself half the day. So I'm sorry, Oscar, but you couldn't come. There's so many animals in the zoo, I know. So many animals, but no dogs allowed. Isn't that crazy? It's a little crazy, isn't it? I know. And I don't think you would have made a 5K, Oscar. He can walk a couple miles. I would say he could definitely walk 5 kilometers or even 5 miles. But running is a different thing because he's an old man already, so he could never run more than 1 mile, I would say. Right, Jetsy? Yeah, that's why you had to stay home. But yeah, the zoo 5K was really good. I didn't run the whole thing because my stamina is just not fully there. I really want to practice though, because I definitely noticed that I need to practice and get my stamina back on track and get better at running, or just, practice. And I got another 5K coming in September, so that's gonna be my goal. Oscar, you want a little piece of bread? Yeah. Abendbrot. Hi, Marco. My wife is shredding documents in the office. Something big is coming. Oh no. Oscar's saying hi too. He felt a little neglected yesterday because we were in Nashville half the day and he was by himself. So yeah, he needs some extra lovin's today. And pieces of bread, of course. Here's a little crust, Oscar. A little crust, yummy. Oh, Marco, by the way, we have a German bakery here in town. So even when I'm in America, I can get German bread. It's not super German, but the baker is actually married to a German, and I think he's German himself, but it's a little Americanized version of bread, but only slightly. I got Tuscan bread here, so it's a very white bread and it's a little softer than I would like. That's so good. So I made some Italian bread with feta cheese. Hi, soy blecos, and having my evening bread now. And it's a nice tradition, I think, that, I mean, you know it, Marco, you're from Germany too. So Germans call, or at least where I come from in the south, we call our evening meal not dinner, we call it evening bread. And you don't have to eat bread necessarily to call it evening bread, we just call it evening meal or evening bread. Yeah, you can say evening meal, but technically it's, or where I come from, we say evening bread, no matter what you eat. But we would usually eat bread. Mainly rice for me. I mean, yeah, rice can be a little bit healthier. Hi, Malik. How are you doing? I am sensitive to most flour stuff, unfortunately. I think I'm actually a little sensitive too, but because I know I can get a little bit itchy sometimes on my skin, but I just love it too much, and I feel like my German ancestors would be very upset if I stopped eating bread, so unfortunately I have to go through the suffering and eat bread. Potatoes on bread, because I left Germany, so I already made my German ancestors mad enough. So I couldn't stop eating bread. On top of that, that would be just too much for them. Unfortunately, I have to keep eating bread. Hi girl, how you doing? You're beautiful and gorgeous. Gorgeous. Thank you. I appreciate it. Too many compliments in the evening. Definitely not a day where I feel beautiful and gorgeous, but I appreciate it. So I was just talking about our Zoo 5K yesterday in Nashville. And yeah, like I said, it was really good. I didn't run the whole thing, and in September I have another 5K lined up for which I have to practice. I'm excited for that. And I also talked about evening bread in Germany, Abendbrot. What did you do today? I was just chilling after I did the 5K yesterday, and I was at work, and I walked the dog with, ooh, Oscar, I'm so sorry, I know, he always wants to be at the table. He hates not being part of something, so I guess he just wants to hang out with us and wants to nibble on some bread. Bread? Here you go. But yeah, I really like the tradition of calling it evening bread instead of dinner. And in Germany we eat a lot of bread, which is no secret, I guess, but it is true. We do eat a lot of bread, and we eat bread every day, I mean, if you don't tolerate it, like Marco, for example, you don't, but if you can tolerate it, you will probably eat bread every day. And I grew up like that, and sometimes I even ate bread for breakfast and evening bread or dinner. Are you dropping the bread? Isn't that good? Yeah? Not good? And usually what you would eat with it is deli meats or cheese and butter or Nutella, Salami, Brot mit ungarischer Salami. Very good. I have a question to ask you. What is your favorite top TV show and movie? Ooh, top 10. That is very funny, by the way, because just earlier we talked about movies and TV shows, or horror movies specifically. Let me think. Top 10 movies. Okay, here we go. The Talented Mr. Ripley. Interstellar. It also depends on the genre. It's hard to say this is my favorite movie because there's so many different genres, right? Of movies and moods you're in. What else? Jurassic Park, I guess, as a kid was very, I just loved the movie. It was always my favorite movie when I was a kid, so I have to add that. Lord of the Rings. So many. It's really hard. TV shows, True Detective. Marco, I mentioned that to you. True Detective. It was really good. Season 1. I watched so many shows recently, but I forgot most of their names. It's another thing. Show. I would even add Squid Game to top 10, but it's more at the bottom. It's not at the top. What is yours, by the way? If you ask the question, you probably have some TV shows you want to share with us or movies. There was another show that I really liked where I was like, this is gonna be one of my top 5 shows ever. And it's not been long ago that I watched them. But my brain, I'm telling you, my memory gets so bad at the moment. I already started taking lion's mane capsules, like lion's mane mushroom powder, because I feel like I have a really bad memory, especially the older I get. So just trying to prevent memory loss. Bündnerfleisch. when I still ate meat, I really enjoyed eating deli meats on bread. I love that stuff, and especially in Germany and Switzerland, it's really good. And evening bread is just delicious, and having some pickles with it, just some sides, or yeah. What was your traditional go-to, Marco, for evening bread? Did you eat meat? Did you eat bread when you were in Germany? Because you said you were a little bit sensitive to flour and stuff. Did you just recently find that out, or did you still eat when you were back in Germany? For me, it's just always been bread. I've been eating bread my whole life, and like I said, even if I was sensitive to it, I would still keep eating it. I know that's probably bad, but I just like it too much. That's one thing I can't really give up. Talking about giving up something, especially food. I was looking into Ramadan in Lind. Sensitivity happened here in the US. Oh, maybe you had too much of the fake bread and it did something to your stomach. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I'm sorry that you have the sensitivity, Marco. That's really, really bad, especially as a German. But luckily you're in Ohio and you couldn't even get the real good stuff when it comes to bread, so hopefully it's only half as bad, you know what I mean? So rice it is, I guess, for you, and maybe potatoes. Schwarzbrot mit Butter. Schwarzbrot mit Butter, lecker. Pumpernickel mit Speck, Schwarzwälder Speck. Leona, Salami. Bauernbrot mit Salami and butter. So good. For me, it's more like avocado now and tomatoes. Since I don't eat meat anymore. But yeah. Talking about giving up something. I was looking into the tradition of Lent. I was about to. I'm just here on my computer right now while eating. That's usually what I like to do when I'm eating by myself. I usually just like to look stuff up and or watch YouTube videos about things.
That was cool.
Schwarzwälder Räucherwurst. Oh.
I didn't get to see what was inside of it.
Meinst du Jägerwurst? Räucher. Meinst du diese viereckige Jägerwurst, die so knackt, die innen drin mal roh war und dann geräuchert wurde? So lecker. Ich versuche gerade ein Bild zu finden. Habe ich tatsächlich Colton gezeigt, als wir in Deutschland waren. Und habe ihm einen zum Probieren gegeben, aber er fand es nur so mittelmäßig gut, tatsächlich. Ich glaube, für ihn war es sehr, sehr salzig, aber Deutsche essen sehr salzig.
What's the next play?
Tea is hot. But yeah, sorry, I got distracted again. So I was talking about Lent, or looking into the tradition of Lent. Because on Wednesday, it is Ash Wednesday. Like I said, this channel is not religious or anything like that. I'm just interested in stuff. So I was looking into Ramadan and Lent. I was just wondering how Ramadan works, what cycle it uses or what calendar. So apparently Ramadan started on February 28 this year and will end March 29. So it follows one moon cycle. And so it doesn't have one fixed date, apparently. So it focuses on the moon cycle. And you will only eat when the sun is down, and when the sun is up, you're not eating. And then we have Lent, which is the Christian tradition, where you give up something that you crave or something that's a bad habit, and you stop doing that after Ash Wednesday for 4 weeks. So 40 days. 40 days of prayer, fasting, that's beginning on Ash Wednesday and ends at sundown on Holy Thursday. So I was thinking about actually doing the Lent this year, and I wanted to do the Ramadan too, but I forgot, or I missed the starting day because I just looked into it today or last night a little bit. So it's a little bit too late for that, so maybe I'll do that next year. But this year I'm thinking about doing Lent. Nehme Tannenzapfen bitter geräuchert. Mettwurst ist auch gut. Zuckerfest is the reward at the end of it. Yes, exactly. Basically, it's intermittent fasting. Yes, that's true. Hi, Chevy for Speed. How you doing? Hi, Zoe. Sorry. Hello from Greece. Where are you from? I'm from Germany, but I'm in America right now. Sorry that I just read the question. You're from Greece, you said? Very cool. You're the second person here we have from Greece. We had another person from Greece not too long ago. He was from... I forgot. He was from an island in Greece, I think. Yeah, what you said. It's basically like a more hardcore version of intermittent fasting. What are you eating? I'm eating German bread from the German bakery here in town in America. And we have a German baker and German people working there, and I have some tomatoes and feta cheese on top and some olive oil. And the feta cheese is actually imported from Greece, so if the person from Greece is still here, your cheese is very delicious. Yeah, talking about fasting and intermittent fasting. So I looked into Ramadan fasting not too long ago, or more like the benefits of fasting on Ramadan. Because I do intermittent fasting myself, and I did that for, I'd say, 2 years, about 2 years during university time, a couple years ago. And I really got used to it, and I really liked it. And I just recently started doing it again, maybe like 4 weeks ago. And yeah, I looked into the benefits that fasting can have, or in those countries where Ramadan is practiced. And take this with a grain of salt. I just read studies and summaries of studies, so I'm not a professional or not an expert or anything like that. I cannot give medical advice, but there's actually studies that suggest or show that people that follow the Ramadan have way lower incidence of certain diseases, like chronic diseases, and that the fasting can be very beneficial apparently, especially the C disease. I don't want to say it here because I don't want to, promote fasting to heal certain things or prevent certain things, because I can't prove it, but it can be very beneficial to prevent this apparently, because the rates in those countries are very, very low. I saw an UFO outside your window. Wouldn't that be something? At least we had it on camera. I was thinking, how cool would that be? Because this window has a really great view. How cool would it be if I had my camera pointed at the window all night and then just rewatching it, and imagine I actually had a video on a UFO on the camera. After 12 hours, your body transitions over from burning carbs to burning fat. Yes, it can be a little bit dependent on your body and your metabolism, and how much glucose you got stored in your liver. But yeah, you will switch from glucose to ketones at one point. And there's a whole other mechanism starting with the cell apoptosis and like the cell death, and whatever the body recycles its own cells that are bad, or fat cells, or any like debris that the body doesn't need anymore and is getting used for energy. And that can happen from what I read, after 48 hours or 72 hours. The longer you have the fasting window, the better. But of course, if you fast for too long, it can be really dangerous. So it really depends on your health state, or, you know, everyone's body is different. So I'm not giving advice about that here. I once did not eat anything for 3 days. After day 2, hunger feeling stops. Plenty of fluid still. Yes, I heard that day 2 is the worst day. I think it's because you're, what is it called? Grenle? No, I gotta look it up now. I'm someone, if I don't know something, I forgot something, I have to look it up. So, hunger hormone. Ghrelin, okay. Ghrelin, not ghrelin, ghrelin. It's a hunger hormone, and apparently this is the highest in day 2. So after day 2, I think it gets regulated again. So it's easier after this day where after it's spiked. So I heard from people that made it to through the first 2 or 3 days that they could go for a week without eating. But like I said, it can be dangerous. But I know a lot of people that did that. I even know someone that did it for 40 days, but that's a little extreme. I did it for 3 days as well, like you did. It's been a while though. I did juice fasting for 3 days, and I did the water fast for 3 days. But I think for the Lent season, I just want to do the 40 days of giving up something. So I will probably stop sugar, because sugar is my biggest culprit. I'm just such a sweet tooth, it's really bad. And yeah, plenty of fluids. Plenty of fluids is important. I work in diabetes. Can I know how it works? You're right. Yeah, you worked in the diabetes field. Yeah, it's really cool. So you would know. Yes, hunger stops. No meds are needed. It's crazy what fasting can do for you. There's a lot of research that you could look into about fasting and the benefits of fasting. I also watched a French scientist, and she focused on glucose spikes, and she's really adamant about telling people how important glucose spikes are, and insulin. I mean, you know insulin better than I do, Marco, because you worked in that field. But she says, for example, when you have a meal that consists of usually carbs, protein, and vegetables, or fat, you should never eat carbs first. So if you, for example, have potatoes or fries or bread, and you have like let's say you have mashed potatoes, a steak, and broccoli, you would, she suggests you eat the broccoli first and then you eat the meat, or broccoli and meat together, and then you eat the mashed potatoes, for example. Because if you eat the carbs first, the insulin will spike, and if you eat the protein first and the protein and the fats or the fibrous stuff, it will balance out your insulin levels. So that's beneficial, she said. And you can also drink a little shot of vinegar before you eat. That will also help to balance your insulin levels, apparently. So that was really interesting. I forgot her name though. She's pretty young. She's like in her 30s, I would say. Ozempic, yeah. Reinfressen ohne Reue. That is one thing about America that I think is really interesting, to say the least. That I get a lot of advertisements, first of all, on TV about those medications you can take to lose weight. I don't really believe in any of that. I'm sure I'm sure it will help to some degree, but the question is if it will do anything for you long term, because if you don't change your habits, how is it gonna help you in the long run, right? Because people are usually looking for the easy way out. And of course, starting a workout routine, completely changing your diet is going to be way harder and requires more effort than just taking a medication to lose weight. And so I can't blame people for doing it. And I know for some people it's much harder than others. And it can be a disease to be obese. But yeah, I just don't know if it's a good idea to do that long term. Also, fermented foods, sauerkraut, pickles, etc. It's actually a proven side effect. Yeah, anything acidic, like vinegar is also acidic, isn't it? Fermented foods are also acidic, like vinegar. That's what I'm trying to say. So it has probably the same effect as eating vinegar before the meal, that it will balance out your glucose levels. If you keep eating, you'll gain the weight back. Exactly, because even if you're on any like weight loss medications or weight loss medications, losing weight is always about what goes in and what goes out. So if you eat more calories than what you burn, of course you will gain weight again, no matter if you take medication for it or not. So you will still have to decrease your food intake and your calorie intake. Well, that med got into such high demand that actual diabetic people who needed ended up on a waiting list. They got into such high demand that actually diabetic people who needed... Oh, you mean the one that you were just talking about? Or the one that you were working on? That is crazy. I didn't know that people who were in a waiting list actually needed it. But I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. In Germany, I never heard about anything that's about weight loss. I never heard any weight loss medications or about weight loss medications. I didn't even know they existed, to be honest. I know there was surgery that you can do, and just talking to therapists and all that, obviously, or professionals that work with you if you would need that. But then here I got more and more of those advertisements about it, and I was like, do people actually do that? Do they actually believe in that? And I like the way how the advertisements are talking to the potential customer in a very like, we care about you way, and they really talk bad about the fast food industry. There was one during the Super Bowl that started in a pretty nice way, so I was like, okay, this is going to the right direction, that's good. So basically it was, you've probably seen it, but it was talking about how the fast food industry is like trying to manipulate you and trying to make you addicted to their food and stuff, and how they're like are basically saying they're evil. So I was like, okay, yeah, they're not wrong, I guess. And then they're like, we're here to help you. And then just the industry that makes those medications just basically telling them that fast food is bad, so the farmer will save them. And I was like, oh no, I thought this was going in the right direction, and then it took a turn back down. It's just, yeah, terrible. An unplanned side effect that became a hyper. You lose about 20% of body weight no matter how much you eat. Oh. Okay. I didn't know about that. $1,000 per month. That is absolutely insane. Just thinking that you could reach the same effect by simply changing your diet. I mean, simply changing your diet is easier said than done, I know that. But it technically is super simple. And there's all the information out there for free. I mean, the internet really has a lot of information. I just feel like people use the internet for so many stupid things and time wasting things instead of really just using it for good purposes and getting information there. Yeah, like losing weight should be less expensive than that, or cost you less than $1,000 per month. If you did it right, you would even save money, because if you had a lot of weight on you, you probably ate a lot of food, so you spend a lot of money on food. So if you want to lose weight, you would probably save money by eating less and buying less food. Although it depends how you start it or how you go on about it. Because if you want to eat healthy, the food might be not very cheap, depending on what you want to eat, I guess. You can eat healthy in a very expensive way, but you can also eat healthy in a cheap way. Depends on how easily satisfied your taste buds are. I changed eating over a month and lost 80 lbs so far without any hunger. Oh, 8 lbs, I was like 80, okay. 8, that's good. Yeah, if you do it very slowly and step by step, just taking out one thing at a time, walking 1,000 steps more a day, just those small little habits that you do, switching out sodas for tea, unsweetened tea, or simply water, or anything that doesn't have calories. There's even those syrups out there. I don't think it's good for you. I'm not a big fan of those fake sugars and flavors and all that, but I mean, yeah, if you really need to have something flavorful, I know there's people out there that can't drink water because they just simply don't like the taste, even though water doesn't really have a taste. But some people just don't like to drink water, and that's okay. Then you just drink tea, or yeah, you can make yourself some black tea with ice cubes and have some iced tea. But that's not instant. That's an instant gratification. Yes, instant gratification is a big thing, not just when it comes to eating. I think that's just a very, I don't know, the human mind is just all about instant gratification, especially nowadays. I think our technical devices and all that play a big role when it comes to instant gratification. Even while doing YouTube, and I only started about a year ago, I already noticed the difference about how YouTube works. So long format videos, for example, a year ago, I feel like were watched way longer and more often, and even shorts were watched on average for 15 seconds. And now when I make a shorts that's longer than 10 seconds, I can see that only 70 to 80% of it got watched, and people usually start at 6 to 8 seconds to watch a video or a shorts, and then they keep scrolling. So basically you have to catch your attention immediately. Moin Pete, wie geht's? Did you sync your tinfoil hat with mine for next YouTube live stream? I'm trying to. I'm trying to sync it. To everyone else, it's obviously just a joke. Moin nach Hamburg. Oh, you know each other? Or do you just assume that he's from Hamburg because he said moin? My dad's from Ostfriesland, he also said moin. What were we talking about? I lost my train of thought. That's okay. Tuesday I might do the historical Old Town stream. Very cool. I'm excited for it. Yeah, and in the last few days I've been, I always missed your streams. Or I clicked on them right at the end. Hamburg. I've been to Hamburg once, and there was, I couldn't even tell you the year. That was with my ex-boyfriend, and we did a Germany tour with our car. So we were just in our old Volkswagen Jetta, and we were poor. We were like 19, 20 maybe. I think 19, and we did like a Germany road trip with the old Jetta, and we're driving through Germany, and we started where I come from in the south, in close to Switzerland, and then we went to Austria, and we tried to save money as good as we could, and we didn't have much, so we were staying in the car for the entire trip. Can you imagine? That's only something you can do when you're 20 or younger. Because now my back would probably hurt if I did that. I could do that for a couple of days easily, but for, I think it was 10 days that we were on the road. So yeah, we started our trip in Switzerland, drove over to Austria. So we were in the Alps region, and we stopped our first night on a lake. I think it was the Plan Lake in Austria, and it was really, really beautiful. I like that a lot. So we were at the very south of Germany. Then we made it into Germany again. I don't even know where we stopped next. I think it was Munich. I think we went to Munich. So we were in Bavaria. Munich was next stop. And then we went from Munich, we drove in one go to Rostock. Then we had some fish sandwiches in Rostock and some smoked fish, because I love smoked fish, or fish bread rolls or sandwiches. But we ate them in our car, so our whole car smelled like smoked fish, and we couldn't even, I just wanted to take a shower at that point, because we've been in the car for like 3 or 4 days. I think 4 days at that point. Maybe 5, even 5. I think it was 5 days. So I begged him. I was like, please, let us stay in a hotel for one night, or even a campsite. And he was so frugal, and I didn't have money on me. Like I said, I was 19, I just started university, so I didn't have anything. Hi, funny. Oh, I just threw a breadcrumb. How are you doing? Bye, Marco. Have a good evening. Enjoy your Netflix. I forgot which one you want to watch. I think it was The Severance. But yeah, I was just talking about my Germany road trip I did with my former boyfriend when I was very young. And it was just one of my worst experiences with road trips ever. I remember I never want to do a road trip ever again after that. And now I actually love road trips, but back then... Oh yeah, funny, I have to check out your channel later, by the way. Good thing you're here, so I see your name. Yeah, next time, tomorrow I'm gonna upload a vlog, by the way. I'm gonna continue the story in a second. Just to let you guys know, I'm gonna upload a vlog tomorrow. And everyone that has, that's actually German bread with yellow tomatoes and feta cheese. I wish it was pie though. I'm craving something sweet right now. We also talked about Lent, the Christian tradition of giving up something after Ash Wednesday, which is on this Wednesday. And I'm trying to give up on sugar, and I want to make a video about it, because I'm the biggest sugar addict ever, and I need to stop eating sugar, and I know that, and I already stopped eating it a couple times in my life, but I always picked it back up, and it's the worst habit, and I just can't stop it. So this time I'm hopeful I'm forever getting rid of my cravings. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna upload a vlog about Nashville, and anyone that has a YouTube channel that is in this community, please just comment under the video if you have a YouTube channel, so I can check your YouTube channels out, and other people can also see that you have one, and then we can support each other, you know, so they know your YouTube channel, because it's been the case a few times already that people tried to look up certain people here in the chat, but they couldn't find them by just looking up the channels, because sometimes the channels are too small, so you wouldn't be listed if someone puts in your name. So please just comment under my video tomorrow, and then people can check out each other's accounts. I've been deceived. Yes, you've been deceived. I'm known for being deceitful. But yeah, this is just bread with yellow tomatoes and feta cheese, which is really good. But yeah, I was talking about my road trip when I was a teenager that I did with my first boyfriend back then in Germany. We started the road trip in Austria, went to Munich, and I don't even know where we all stopped. I just know after almost a week, we made it, or 4 or 5 days, we made it to the Eastern Sea in Germany, Ostsee. And so we got Denmark in the middle of Germany. Denmark is in the middle. On my left, we got the North Sea, and my right, I got the Eastern Sea or East Sea. Eastern Sea is very popular for older folks or people that like to go swimming without clothes on. And I'm talking about no clothes at all. So a very popular spot for that. That's going to be part of the story later too, when we get there. So we went to Rostock and to the Eastern Sea. We finally made it to the ocean after 5 days. And we were sleeping in the car the entire time. Can you imagine? On the front seats. Just leaning in the back. We had a little blanket. Just sleeping there the entire trip. Terrible. Couldn't imagine doing that anymore. But yeah. So I was begging my boyfriend at the time. I was like, can we please stay in a hotel for one night at a camping ground, in one of those cabins, or we have one of those hotels. What are they called? It's like usually for younger people or school classes that can rent it out for very, very cheap, where you sleep in bigger rooms or dorms with other people, where there's like 10 or 20 beds in there. So anything that had a shower, I would have appreciated at that point. But he was very frugal, so he said no. And when I was 19, I looked like I was 14 years old. So there were school classes at this one hotel where we went to. It was like one of those youth hotels where you go to with your school classes. So he stopped there and he told me, just go in there, pretend you're one of those 10th grader or 9th graders, even though I was 19 years old. So he told me to join them, and that's what I did. I just mingled with the school classes, and I got some weird looks because in Germany you're always in the same class with the same people. You're not switching like in America where you have different courses and different classes, so people will know you for sure. So just me being a complete stranger by myself, definitely got some weird looks, but I made it in and no one asked me questions, and I made it into the bathroom. I took a shower and I felt much better. Went back to the car, we took off again, we went to the beach, and it was the first time I went to the beach at the Eastern Sea for me, and it was beautiful, but it was windy. It was raining, it was windy, it was storming. But I just wanted to get into the ocean because that was the most or the coolest thing for me, because I've never been to the Eastern Sea, only to the Northern Sea, and I want to go into the ocean after driving from all the way in the south to the north. So even though it was raining, I wanted to go in. I'm just gonna read a question, the comment real quick. Today we went to Walmart and my wife went crazy on junk food, bought pies, bun cake, chips, crackers. I was like, wow, you died for a month, gonna go bust in 2 days. Trust me, we have those moments and those evenings too where we're trying to be like super healthy, and we are in those phases all the time. We are like super healthy one phase. Oh, my light just turned off. And whatever, super healthy, and then one thing happens, or we have like one crazy evening or shopping trip like you just had with your wife, and everything just falls apart, and we just buy everything we want, and it's just like up and down, up and down. So yeah, haha, do you sometimes wonder how life has turned out differently? For sure. I always wonder about life's funny ways, and it is just, I don't know, it's fun. Life is just funny, isn't it? Or you just never know where you're gonna end up. But yeah, the funny part of the story is gonna begin now. We went to the ocean, finally. It was raining, it was storming, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in. And he's like, do you think it's a good idea? And it's about to rain, and we heard thunder far away. So it is funny, you have to take it as it is. Exactly, I agree. I wonder when my lights turned off. Anyways, I went into the ocean, and the thunderstorm started, and I was a little scared, but I still went in. And I didn't have any swimming clothes with me, right? And it was a very remote beach. It was raining and storming, like I said, no one was out there. I didn't expect any person to come. So I went into the water like God made me, without a bikini or anything. Went into the water, went swimming. I got attacked while it was raining, by the way. I got attacked by a swan, and he chased me, and then he circled me, because swans, those white big birds, can be really aggressive. So I assume he had babies somewhere nearby. But yeah, the swan terrorized me and chased me around, and I just got deeper into the water. And finally, I was ready to make it back to the shoreline and come back out of the water. Guess what? That school class that I saw in that hotel where I mingled, or where I just tried to blend in with them, the school class was taking an excursion to the beach. They were looking for some seashells or something at the beach. So they came out of nowhere, and suddenly they were all there at the shoreline, or where my clothes were, where I went into the water. So I was forced to stay in the water because I didn't wear anything, as I just mentioned. So I was in the water with the pouring rain, with that aggressive swan trying to attack me, and a thunderstorm approaching. Let me tell you, that was one of the most stressful moments of my life, I think. And yeah, so I was waiting in the water for probably like 30 minutes until they disappeared, or kept walking until I could make it out of the water. And that was definitely a moment I will never ever forget in my life, and it was very funny. In hindsight, in the moment, it wasn't very funny, but now it's definitely a very funny story to look back on. Skinny dipping. Yes. Oh no, they all had an unexpected lesson in biology. That's why I tried to prevent, that's why I didn't get out, so I just stayed in the water until here. And then the longer I stayed in, because I'm also scared of sharks, right? And I was like in the water, not thinking about sharks in the beginning, because I was so happy to see the ocean. You know how it is when you get to the ocean first, and you're like, wow, the ocean. I want to get in. The longer you stay in after getting attacked by a swan, my mind wandered to what's below me and not just on my level. I was like, imagine getting attacked by a swan on the surface and getting attacked by a shark from below. Wouldn't that be fun? Obviously, it wouldn't be very fun. So I started imagining like a shark swimming below me, but I just couldn't get out of the water. I just couldn't do it. So at that point, I was like, if a shark eats me, that's how my story ends. But luckily, neither the swan nor a shark got me. And yeah, it's one of those crazy stories you would remember and laugh late. For sure. I'll always remember that. And I'm glad that I had those crazy moments in my life. I bet you have those crazy memories too of crazy stories when you were younger. What was your teen boyfriend doing? That's a good question. I think there was honestly so much stuff going on in my brain or in that whole situation that my mind completely erased the memory of what he was doing. I think he was really just at the beach. I don't think he was in the water with me because, like I said, it was storming and raining. So he was a little bit smarter than me in that moment and just waiting at the beach, just looking at the water, I think, and not going in. So he was probably just laughing and having a good time while I was suffering in the water. So yeah, I think that's what he was doing. And then I made it back eventually, and obviously I was super happy that I made it out. And I didn't have to go into the water for the entire rest of my trip because that kind of like traumatized me. And yeah, that was the only time I went to the water on that entire trip. And yeah, then we went back to the car and slept in the car again. And from there, from the Eastern Sea, we drove over to the northern part of the sea. So, but not at the coastline, we went more like inland, so we were like an hour south of the coastline. So we went to Hamburg because we just had someone from Hamburg here. That's why I remember the whole story. And like I said, my boyfriend was very frugal, so he wanted us to sleep in the car and not take a hotel. And then we went to Hamburg, which is a city that's known for rich people and very like, or there is a lot of rich people. It's not just known for rich people, but it's more like very well earning folks. And then we stopped randomly at I think it was like a bank or something, like a financial district where we stopped with the car, and the car was very old. And we had a lot of stuff in there, so it looked like we're living out of our car, which we were at the time for the vacation. And then we just stopped there and we slept in the car. And then in the morning we heard knocking at the door or the windows, and there was so much fog in the car, or not fog, but the condensation, that I had to use my sweater to wipe off the window to talk or look at the person that was knocking. And then I rolled down my window manually, obviously, because it was an old car. And there was the police, and they were like, hey, can you please move your car from this part of town and go somewhere else, because this is it's like I said, a financial district, and it was a very expensive hotel nearby or next to us. So it just didn't look good for them. And then we had to move location, so we went to like more like an urban or residential area. But I was so over it. And then he had the great idea of getting out of the car and walking around and explore the city. But at that point I haven't taken a shower in like 3 days or so. I was sleeping in my car. I was in the ocean before that, so my hair was full with like salt water, and I just felt like yucky and everything. And there were so many, like I said, richer people walking around, and just going to a restaurant was a nightmare, just feeling like yucky after sleeping in your car for so long. And the same night I was like, I want to go home, I'm over this. We still had some places we wanted to go, but I was like, I'm going. I'll leave you here, I'll drop you off, I'll take the car, I'm driving home. Or if not, you can sit me in it, or drop me off at the train station and I'll take the train and I will go home. So that night, I took the wheel. I told him to sit in the passenger seat. I took the wheel and I drove home from Hamburg all the way to the south to almost Switzerland. So I drove for like 9 hours straight without stopping. And I made it home. And I was like, I'll never go on vacation with you ever again. Oops. Long story short, I beat him with a bow in front of 300 people to get noticed by my crush. You beat another person in front of 300 people to get noticed with a bow. Oh, with a bow. Wow. That is something. Luckily, I didn't have 300 people in my story. It was more like 30 people. Traumatizing it must have been for you. Yes. But luckily, with my current partner, I did another road trip and it was really fun. And we did multiple road trips actually, and I enjoyed them every time. You were a wild child? I think you could say so. Yes, I would agree. Not always. I was more like a quiet child, or yeah, not quiet. I would read books and be by myself a lot. Sorry, I just inhaled some bread. But as a teenager, or like high school, definitely a little wilder. Honestly, this was middle school. Okay. Sorry, guys. I inhaled some bread. I'm gonna get some water. Like I said, I'm so bad at multitasking. I can't even talk and eat without inhaling food into my lungs. But yeah. Would you say you were a wild child, Funny? And when's your next Scrabble session happening? By the way, before I forget, I'm gonna look up your channel because I know my scattered brain will forget about it. I'm gonna see if I can find the name, and if not, you can just drop me a comment under a video or a live stream, so I will see. So funny and insightful, let's see. Sometimes it's hard to find YouTube channels by just putting in the name. I remember when I had like a couple hundred followers, I couldn't find my own channel. No, it wouldn't show me a channel. But like I said, yeah, if you drop me a little comment here under this live stream or another one, I'll definitely check out your channel. I'm always interested in you guys' channels and to see what you guys are up to, what you guys are making. Hi Rika, how are you doing? Good evening. I'm eating my evening bread now. My Abendbrot in Germany. It's chilly in here, that's why I'm wearing my hat, by the way. In Germany, we say evening bread to dinner because I don't even know where it comes from. Let me look that up. Abendbrot. You want some?
No.
Okay. Abendbrot Herkunft. Okay, so it says the name evening bread in Germany became a thing in 1920 because people would work in companies and they would eat warm in a canteen for lunch. And in the evening, you would eat bread with sausage or deli meats, as you would call it in America. And for us, everything is Wurst or sausage, even deli meats or the franks, as you would say here. So in the evening in 1920, or from there on, you would eat bread with sausage, deli meat, cheese, radishes. I'm talking about those purple little radishes with the white in the middle, and gherkins or pickles. And that became a thing. And even when you buy books about German culture, it will be in there. Hi, Miranda's here. She's my friend from here, technically, but now she lives in Hawaii. She's living the dream. Not jealous at all, but I'm glad she's having a good time. Wie geht's? One of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you, thank you. Hi, James. How are you doing? I can only give that back. James has a channel as well, by the way, and so has my friend, and Shuriken as well, and Funny as well. So guess we're all YouTubers gathered around. Very cool. But I was talking about the German tradition of evening bread and how we call it evening bread instead of dinner. You want some evening bread? As American? Okay, I hope you can tolerate it. Yeah, and Germans, just I said it earlier in the stream, and I started the stream. Germans would eat bread every single day, and sometimes even twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. But yeah, what is your guys' go-to for breakfast or dinner? I want to hear, because my answer is pretty simple. Since I can think, it would have been bread. Sometimes I had a sweet craving, so I would eat the bread with Nutella or any hazelnut cream. I don't want to do advertisement for Nutella. But yeah, it would either be butter and Nutella or honey. I hate jam, not jam. And although a lot of Germans eat jam and butter. And if I had a craving for something salty, it would be cheese or deli meat. That's awesome. We eat similar to this. One of my closest friends married a guy from Belgium, and she always tells me that he's obsessed with a hot and two colds. A hot and two colds, like a sausage. It's funny. I was a mix of a studios guy and sort of a funny guy messing with girls, like a weird nerd plus desperate guy who flirted with like everyone. With everyone, yeah, that's probably. Oh well, you got the wifey now, and we all learn from our past, and it led you to your wife, so that's good. Sometimes we have breakfast for dinner. Nice. I guess that would be eggs and sausage for you, and biscuits, maybe, as American, I assume. I heard that German bread is very difficult to break down because it is so hard. There's very different German bread, so you can have very soft bread. So like this, for example, the crust is hard, but the middle is also, or the middle is kind of squishy, so it's definitely drier than you guys' bread. It doesn't have as many preservatives to keep it moist or many fats that keep it moist. Definitely more of a drier thing. So Germans eat pretty dry in general. It's one of the things my husband noticed too. And he's like, where's the sauce? And we don't have a sauce with certain things. So yeah, it needs to scratch your throat a little bit. That's when it's German. I guess we're just very used to that. But yeah, there's definitely bread that's basically just seeds or grains that are not even broken down, and they're just like basically not glued together, but you can break them apart, you know what I mean? There's definitely those breads out there too, and I like them a lot. I feel like the older I get, I become more like my grandma, and I'll eat a piece of toast with a glass of water and a cup of coffee or hot tea. I agree, I'm the same. Just a cup of tea. Same, I got my tea here and my bread, so I feel you. Pancakes, bacon, sausage, eggs, too pricey right now. My friend brought me a crate of eggs yesterday. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago maybe? And it's eggs from his co-worker, and she has them in the garden, so she got us some eggs, which is very cool. Chatty. Oscar got out of his bed. He wants to be part of the stream. Chats, you want some bread? There you go. Oh, guess he doesn't like it. Thank you. Oscar, you're cute. Oh yeah, I have been with my wife for 10 years now. I wouldn't want anyone else but her. You're 100% right. We learn from our past. I agree. And it's awesome. I bet she would be happy to read that right now. Very cute. I've eaten Cheerios for breakfast for as long as I've been on solid food, and I've eaten my Cheerios with the same wooden spoon for the last 5 years, I think. Cute. Is that one that you made yourself? By the way, I read the comment just before I started the stream, so I didn't have time to reply yet. That you carved that spoon yourself. That's really cool. In Germany, we have that cheese dish. It's actually a Swiss dish, but I'm so close to Switzerland, from the Alps region in Europe, where we eat a lot of Swiss dishes, or where it's like blending into each other. And we have this Swiss dish that's called raclette, and you have this it's like a little thing, an electric thing in the middle of the table, and it heats up. It has like a heating. It's like a little oven, basically. You put it in the middle of the table, and you get those little shovels that you fill with cheese, and you put it into the little oven, and it will melt the cheese. And you will have potatoes that you peel. You got pickles and mushrooms and what else? Ham or bacon that you can fry on top of the little oven. It has like a little grill on top of it. And you grill onions and ham and stuff if you want to. And you have the potatoes and the cheese, and then you scratch out the cheese with a wooden spoon. And my dad carved me and my sister and my family those wooden spoons too. And we still have them, yeah. So my dad did those wooden.
Another 5K on March 14th.
Where?
Huh?
Sorry, my husband's talking to me right now.
Like an hour, like 40 minutes away. So.
Sure, you can do it. But wait until I'm done. I want to see what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, we got those wooden spoons too. And I love having something handcrafted and just something that has a meaning instead of buying it. So that's really awesome that you can do that. And stuff out of wood is also very environmental friendly, so full support. If you ever create a business and you sell your spoons, let us know, and then we can share. and people can order your spoons. That would be cool. I would definitely get one. Oh, bye, James. Talk to you later. It was good to see you. Seems Oscar's not a big fan of German bread. It depends. Sometimes he eats it, but he got a little piece earlier, so I think he's just kind of over it, and he was expecting a little bit more flavor, like sausage or something. There's something cheesy, something that has more flavor that he likes. That's awesome that your dad carved spoons too. And yep, I carved my cereal spoon. Very cool. It's made from an apple tree that fell in a storm on Good Friday 6 years ago. Oh, that's awesome. Very nice. I don't know what wood my dad used, if it was anything special like that, but probably not. Yep, good times. He also made my bed I had through my entire childhood out of wood. And a lot of stuff now that I think about it. He was very crafty when he still could. So, unfortunately, I'm not as crafty when it comes to woodwork. But yeah, that's really, really cool. And there's something satisfying about making one. Yeah, I bet. One's on tools. I agree. For sure. I wish I could make something like this. For me, it's more like making food and stuff and drawing or just some DIY stuff, but nothing that's like super crazily hard to make. Nothing like making my own furniture or tools. But yeah. When's your next Scrabble night? Funny. I think I wanna have a game night next week too. You just reminded me after you said Scrabble that I wanna have another game night. We had one not too long ago with our friends, and then I introduced them to a game that we play a lot in Germany. It's called City, Country, and River. So you write down city, country, river, usually name, a profession, and an animal in one line. And then one person says the alphabet in their head, and you would have to stop them, and they will give you the letter they had in their head. And then the person that finished the entire line according to that one letter and has a word to every category wins the game. Your dad sounds like he was quite a woodworker. Yeah, he definitely was. He made a lot of things. He could even build his own guitars, and he fixed bicycles and all that stuff. He's a very hands-on guy. He made everything from scratch. But by profession, he was a chef. So yeah, he made food. But also everything else, so he's definitely my biggest role model. I play every night. I live stream it too. Not that it has a lot of following, but I like to play Scrabble and keep my mind occupied. Oh, you live stream it? Very cool. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Oh, so it's about your streaming time. Very nice. Have you thought about going on Twitch or anything? I think that might be a good platform because Twitch is very game focused, and even if you get a couple subscribers, you get some monetary benefit from it, because I think you get like $2.50 per subscriber from Twitch. And I'm sure there's people out there that watch Scrabble. Why not? I was actually thinking about going on Twitch once a week, or maybe twice a week, and play some games there. I don't even know what I want to play there. I was thinking about PUBG or Hearthstone or something like that. I'm here only for social interaction, not really wanting monetary benefits, anything. Just here for community and conversations. I got you. I'm the same. Obviously, making videos and stuff also is a lot of effort we put in, and of course, and YouTube already puts ads under my videos, so of course I would be happy if YouTube would pay me at that point, or at one point in the YouTube thing. But community and conversations above everything else, for sure. Definitely agree. That's my goal too. Man, your dad sounds awesome. My grandparents' best friends were a German couple, and the man was also a chef. They had a restaurant in Sky Valley, Georgia. Oh, nice. Very cool. So they came to America and started all over, and they had a restaurant. Very nice. Yeah, having my own little place where I can sell food, because making food is definitely my biggest hobby, next to the being creative and just making videos and stuff. That would definitely be a dream of mine, to have a little food place and offer some healthy food and bring people together and just have like a nice little place where people can come to and hang out. Maybe one day, hopefully. As an expat who recently moved to US, something I struggle with is to have human interactions, especially that I work in a remote job. Opportunity to meet with people is drastically reduced. Yeah, I think that's becoming a bigger issue the more home office jobs are a thing now. And even after COVID, I feel like socializing just dropped a little bit, or it's been less common to socialize, or people almost got a little bit, I don't want to say socially awkward, but struggle with social interactions or approaching people to have social interactions or hang out. I think it's all going a little bit into that direction of being a little bit more by yourself instead of meeting people and really hanging out with people. I think it's more and more common that people are by themselves and just watch any like streaming. I'm not talking about streaming like this. I'm talking about like Netflix or Amazon, or just play video games and stuff. I think it's just where we are headed as a society, which definitely is a little sad. So I'm sorry, Insightful. I'm glad you got your wife for social interactions and communities like this, where you can hang out and talk. I know it's just it's only through the screen, but we're still talking and hanging out and exchanging our thoughts. So I guess that's better than nothing. And I'm definitely enjoying that too. But yeah, it's hard. I couldn't even imagine. I'm glad I got my job where I have a lot of social interactions with people, just doing my classes and hanging out with people. Definitely gives me a lot of warmth in my soul, or yeah, it's definitely an important part of my life now. So I can't even imagine not having that. But yeah, during COVID, I definitely missed the social interactions too, but I got very used to it. And then after it got back to normal, it was very weird to see people hang out with them. But sometimes I even miss those times. I'm sometimes torn. Sometimes I like the being by yourself part and not having to ask people to hang out, but I think I would definitely miss it if I was back in that time of my life again. That's the whole point of YouTube for me. I would never had imagined a swan attacking a woman in the Eastern Sea while saving embarrassment in front of a bunch of kids. Now that is part of my memory. Aww. Right? Yeah, that's what I like about this too, or just learning from each other or getting inspiration. Like for example, earlier when we just named the feral cats, like all the feral cats now have a name, and I couldn't come up with names. So now every time I call them by their name, I will think of the community or the person that gave the cat a name, and it will always be part of my memory too, or just stories that you tell me or all of you guys. And I think it's just awesome that there's something like this where you can talk to each other and have this community where we can just create this like safe space for everyone and hang out, kind of like a virtual living room, you know what I mean? Where everyone's friendly and knows each other, motivate each other. I'm not looking to grow my channel or make money either. I started doing YouTube just for fun and because I wanted to raise some awareness for Shuriken Jutsu as it's in danger of extinction. Yeah, and I see when I watched your shorts or videos, you got a lot of people commenting, so I feel like you already created that awareness. Even if you just target a couple people, that's always better than none, and you're out there sharing your videos, and they are, by the way, very well made. I know I already mentioned that, but that's great. I think money is never a good motivation in general for anything, so that you're all not driven by any money purposes, I think already is a success in itself. And I'm glad you're enjoying what you're doing. That's the most important part. And I'm doing the same. I'm enjoying the process and just rewatching my videos sometimes, so seeing where I started and where I'm now. Not saying that they're good or much better than before, but they're definitely improving, and just seeing that improvement and having this little like diary for myself, like a video diary. I just love it. And then just seeing you guys' comments or having you in the stream, you know, just seeing like remembering when certain people came into my life or into the community, and just seeing it growing is just awesome feeling. And everyone's just so friendly. And you know, in those crazy times where the world is going down the drain, I feel like just knowing that there's still so many nice people out there is giving me a lot of hope. So yeah, I'm very thankful for all of you, and I'm glad that you're all amazing. True, money comes later. More important things like love, belongingness, feel of community is more important, especially after 8+ hours of grueling corporate. For sure. So, when I went to university, my goal was to become a businesswoman and working in China with the Chinese corporate world, and just traveling back and forth, doing all that. And that was the goal back then, just because I come from more of a financially poor background. I always like to say financially poor because my family gave me a lot of other things, so I don't want to call myself growing up poor, just financially poor. So I wanted to, you know, stop the poorness and become a businesswoman and all that. And I was always interested in Asian culture or East Asian culture. So I tried to combine that by becoming like a business person in China. But now I work non-profit, and I work with children and older people and teach them stretching and yoga, and have classes with the kids and plan activities, and it doesn't really pay anything or barely something, but I feel very fulfilled. And that's something money couldn't give me. You're very wise and very kind, sister. I was watching some of your shorts with Mackenzie earlier, and we both enjoyed them a lot. Oscar and the kitties are awesome, and particularly enjoyed the one of you and your husband dancing and geeking out. Thank you. That is very nice. I appreciate that. Just reading something like this makes the channel worth it, doing all of it. Sorry for eating, by the way, and I was impolite to eat while talking, although I guess mukbang culture kind of made it normal to eat in front of the camera. But yeah, like I said, I really appreciate that. That's very sweet. And say hi to Mackenzie from me, and I appreciate her kind words. By the way, talking about monetizing, I heard from my sister that teaching Chinese in Singapore earns you about $50 an hour. Not a bad side gig, and teaching gives you good karma anyways. Is that a thing in the culture you grew up in, Ash? Funny that teaching gives you good karma? I never heard about that. I like that. Teaching karma. I read a lot about karma when I was younger because I was very obsessed with Chinese and Indian culture. And I went down the rabbit hole back then a lot. And I was actually torn back then if I wanted to pick up my Chinese major, or there was also one that taught you Hindi and Indian culture. And you would also learn Sanskrit and all that. So I was torn which one I should choose. But then I went for Chinese because I knew that I could go abroad with a Chinese major and I really wanted that. That's why I picked that. And yeah, we have a lot of those kind of videos, shuriken, of me and my husband. But I can only upload so much because I don't mind it, but I want to grant him some privacy. So yeah, I sure will. Em and I have been together for almost 13 years, but we were friends for years before that. We were 2 peas in a pod, but she goes to sleep earlier than I do, so here I am. Okay, nice. We have different sleep schedules or cycles too. Technically, he's more of a night owl. I was a night owl too, doing university. But my husband used to be in the army, and so we got up every morning at 4:30, and I started becoming more of a morning person since then. So now we both are like old people going to bed pretty early compared to what I did in the past. So in the past I would probably go to bed at like 1 or 2 a.m. the earliest. And now if it's 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. I'm in dreamland already. So I can't even imagine staying up until 1 a.m. every day. I don't think it's healthy for you either. So I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, I just remembering how long I stayed up for almost, for so many years. It's crazy. It's probably so bad for you. I know people call night shifts the grave shifts because it's so bad for you. And things like heart attack and strokes and stuff is way more likely to happen to you if you work night shifts. So just staying up, it's just not good. Staying up late, having a nice sleep schedule and following your biorhythm, or then nature's biorhythm, getting up with the sun, going to bed with the sun is probably way better for you. But I'm also not an expert, so who am I to tell you? Yeah, karma gives you balance to your actions and leads you to the right amount of life. Helps you coexist with others, and yeah, nice concept when one is spiritual and not hardcore religious. Yes, I like the idea of being spiritual and not hardcore religious, and being able to coexist with others in harmony is probably should always be the main goal, and not forcing your opinions and ideas. I think that's what we all should aim for, that's why I'm so happy. We're all a very harmonious group and no one is forcing anything on anyone, and yeah, everyone's just being very kind, and yeah. Okay. I don't even know when I started the stream what I was trying to talk about. Oh, no, I remember. I was looking into Ramadan, just talking about religion and stuff. I think that just reminded me of that. Because I know on the 5th, so on Wednesday, it's Ash Wednesday, and Christians will do the Lent, so you will give up one of your bad habits and you will not do that for 4 weeks. And Ash Wednesday, exactly, thank you. You'll give it up for 40 days, not 4 weeks. And in Ramadan, you don't eat until the sun is down, so it's a little different. But I was actually thinking about participating in the Lent this year because I was originally trying to do the Ramadan, but I already missed the starting point. So I think I'm doing the Lent. I always like that idea. So I want to do a fast anyways, a water fast for a couple days. So why not combine it with the Lent since I'm already suffering? That's cool. A little weird in that I don't need much sleep. 5 hours and 50 minutes is just right for me, and I tend to wake up after that period feeling rested no matter what. That's funny that you say that, because I've been watching a lot of stuff about sleep, and I don't know if you heard about Brian Johnson. He's like a longevity expert and talks a lot about sleep and how important it is and how you improve your sleep and all that, and basically how you reverse or stop aging or slow it drastically down, and sleep is a big part of that. So he always preaches to go to bed early, to get at least 7 hours of sleep. But what you just said is very similar to me, or for me. I've always been someone that only slept like 5 or 6 hours a day. Yeah, since I can think, like honestly. Of course, if I went partying or something on the weekend, I would sleep longer. But even then, sometimes I would only sleep a couple hours and be okay after that. And I would say I usually sleep around 6 hours too, and then I get up naturally. And I'm not very tired after this. So I think it really depends how much sleep you need, and also what you do throughout the day, what you eat, all plays a role, I bet, in your genetics, of course. But I guess it's a good sign that you don't need that much sleep and you're rested after only 5 hours. I know there's some gurus out there. I watch a lot of Sadhguru. He's like an Indian guru, and he says he only sleeps 4 hours a day, and he's in his late 70s, and he's always very fit after that. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but I assume so. But I want to ask you guys a question. Is there anything that comes to mind for you guys when you think about Lent? Not that you're doing Lent or that you should do Lent, just saying what would you give up for 40 days? Or what should you give up for 40 days? I think they've done studies that indicate that certain people just need less sleep, right? I think so, because I remember looking it up a while ago, and because I was so surprised that I don't need that much sleep. And I always thought I'm unhealthy by not sleeping 7 or 8 hours, because I know most people I know sleep 8 or 9 hours a day, but that's way too much for me personally. So I'm sure there's studies out that would suggest that. Giving up is the core philosophy of many religions and faiths that considers inner peace as ultimate goal. Chinese Buddhism, like monks who give up everything in the pursuit of peace. I've heard of Sadhguru. Yeah, he has mainstreamed Hindu philosophies pretty much to the Western world. Yeah, I really like him. He definitely has some videos where I'm like, okay, you don't have to go there or that far, where he's like claiming things and just stating them, not suggesting or saying this is my opinion. He's just stating some facts that are not necessarily facts in my opinion, but if you just take it with a grain of salt. And he's just a very cool guy and very entertaining personality, and I watch him a lot. There's another guy, he's called Muji. I watch him too, and Eckhart Tolle. He's a German philosopher. He wrote The Power of Now. I don't know if you read about it or heard about it. I got it somewhere behind me on that pile of books. And he's just talking about the importance of the present moment and accepting everything that is. So that's a good book, and not trying to sound cringe, but that's definitely a book that changed my outlook on many things and changed my way of thinking and feeling, and it helped me through a lot of situations in my life. And in university I learned a lot about Taoistic philosophies, like Taoism and Neo-Confucianism, and I really enjoyed that a lot, looking into the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu, Zhuangzi, and I liked a lot of the things I learned there, and just reading it, just being more in tune with nature. But I also like Christianity a lot and would consider myself so. I'm Catholic, so I always do Lent, and in fact I'm still trying to think of something creative to give up. The main idea of giving up something is actually to remind yourself that it's Lent. Yes, and I also agree with you, Fanny, that a lot of philosophies or religions have the giving up thing in common. And I think it's actually really good just to remind us as humans about our needs or desires that are not necessarily helping us in the good ways. So I think there's a lot of things that we want and feel that we need that we don't actually need, and that we should not want. And when you talked about monks, I couldn't imagine being a monk. I always liked the idea of going to a monastery and living there. Right before I met my husband, by the way, I was about to sign up for a monastery in China and go there and learn Kung Fu and Qigong, Tai Chi, and Qigong, I think both. And yeah, that was right before I met him, and I was about to go there, but my plans changed because I want to stay in Germany when he was stationed with the army in Germany. And but I still always think about that, how I really want to do that, and maybe one day I'll still do that. And then there's another Buddhist Taoist monastery in Germany that's led by a monk. He's from the Philippines and is German now, but his family is from the Philippines. And I really like the idea of doing that one day, just for a month or so. That would be very fun. And same here, Shuriken. I'm still thinking about what I want to give up for Lent, and I definitely want to do it. So I think I'm gonna make a little video about it from the start to the end of the Lent, and then just gonna cut it to one big video and just record my, like a diary basically, and show you guys how I did and how it worked out for me during the Lent. And I think sugar is probably my thing that I'm gonna give up. Anything dessert, sugar, anything sweetened, I want to give up because sugar is my biggest craving. And it's really not good for me. I never feel good after I ate it, but in the moment I feel good, just instant gratification, you know. Same story for everyone, I guess. It's not about what we want to give up during Lent. It is about what we want to continue giving up even after Lent. Can we continue to give up the desire beyond the 40 days and not get back to the same? I mean, that would probably be ideal if we could give up something for 40 days. You can have my nuts too. My husband just comes by every couple minutes and steals a little piece of bread, and little by little, and now he wants my nuts too. That's fine. It's the beautiful part about marriage. You get to share everything, even your food. Yay! I'm kidding. I like to share stuff with you. It's okay. Sometimes. Not always. Sometimes I do not want to share if it's chocolate. A lot of people, but yeah, funny, I agree with you. My goal is definitely to do the 40 days of no sugar and being able to continue not eating sugar after that, because I really don't want to eat sugar. And I think Lent would be a good opportunity for me to just have like a little cut, you know, and have a good motivation. And I think it's cool if we would all do it together and have something we can motivate each other, you know. We can check in on each other and be like, hey, how's it going for you? Have you ate any sugar this month, or whatever you guys want to give up? I think that'd be very cool, just to be here for each other. A lot of people have different philosophies about giving something up for Lent. Many say that bad habits should be broken simply because it's the right thing to do. I mean, yeah. Bad habits, I have a couple of those, so maybe I'm wondering if I should give up more than just one, because Lent is a good opportunity to give up a little bit more, but I don't want to overdo it, and I want to probably focus on one thing, because one thing is already hard enough for me. So, your husband gave you a boob in the head, just like how you would give a boob to Oscar. Yes, he always does a little pet. He's just a little bit taller than me. And last time he went down on not his knees, but he like lowered himself onto my height. So we measured how much bigger he is. I just measured it with my hands. So I told him to get down to where my level would be for him. So he was like down here. And I was looking down, I was like, this is how you see me? He's like, yeah, how else would I see you? I'm taller than you. And I was like, how can you take me seriously when I'm like upset with you? And you know, just like this little thing like shouting at you. Or not shouting, but being upset. So it was just funny to see how his perspective is on how he sees me. Just to see him in the same perspective. It's actually better to give up something that we don't need to give up if it's not necessarily in our best interest to give something up. It means we are doing it purely as a reminder of Lent. Okay. So you think it's better to give up something? So if I, for example, say I'm giving up sugar because I always want to give up on sugar and sugar is not good for me, I should probably give up something. I mean, I should probably still give up sugar, but not using Lent for giving up on sugar. But I should give up something that's also hard to give up on, but not necessarily serving myself. If that makes sense? I thought Germans showed how much upset they are by being silent in small minute glares. I would agree. So yeah, we're not known for shouting and being loud when we are upset. We're just more like what you just said. We're giving those little glares and, you know, sassy looks and the raised eyebrow. I don't want to say passive aggressive, but passive aggressive. That's definitely more the German style, and I really have to remind myself that I shouldn't be passive aggressive here in America and be less German sometimes. I'm working on it. It's hard when you grow up around it, so maybe that would be something. Exactly, that's the theory. Okay, good. I'm glad I got it right. And see, I learned something new. We talked about land. You all have your perspective on it, or your theories and or life experiences. And now I'm rethinking what I should do for land. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't talk to you. That is similar philosophy in our culture too. You give up something you like versus something you don't like. Giving up is not just cleansing it. Cleansing it is the art of conquering your desires and mind. Yeah, that's a lot of that goes into the living like a monk thing, what you said. Conquering your mind and desires. Like, of course, we all have desires. We're all just humans, and our mind. But conquering it and putting it in place, or as a Christian, putting your beliefs in God before you, instead of giving in into all those desires. I think all religions kind of have the same or similar baseline. Just not basically saying that humans are bad or human desires are always bad, but kind of, I mean, we're animalistic, so it's always about controlling that part in us that is not bad. I don't want to call us bad, but animalistic, just very primeval, I guess. Since we still have that in us, we're still animals after all, I guess. Yeah. Yes, this is a wonderful perspective, funny. I agree. I like that a lot. I'm glad I got so many smart people on here and people we can exchange with or share our thoughts. And yeah, would you guys enjoy a video like this, like a vlog about land, or me giving up something and like filming myself through the process? I was thinking about doing those kind of videos a little bit more in general, if you guys would like that. I mean, I'm probably still gonna do it, even if you wouldn't like it, because you're not forced to watch it, right, if you don't like it, but and I would probably enjoy doing it, because I always enjoy watching those kind of videos where people try out something for, let's say, a month or a week, or for a certain amount of time, and then just like do like a protocol of how they felt and how it worked for them and how they feel afterwards. And you also see like a little bit before and after of how people look like and if they seem more happy, or you know, I think that'd be really, really cool to do something like that. And it is okay to be human and be imperfect, to be under the influence of desires. Strength of the faith aids in the navigation of imperfections and the pursuit of being one with the God you believe in. It's very beautifully said, funny and insightful. Also, just realized how nice it is. I remember how I asked you about your name, like how you came up with your name or how I should call you. You're like, depends on if you think I'm funny or insightful, just call me according to that. And the more we talk, because I definitely had some funny moments with you, the more we talk, I figure out why your name is like that, because you're definitely funny and insightful. So if I knew you back then, I wouldn't have asked the question. If it's a video you would enjoy making, you should do for sure. I'd find it interesting, certainly. Okay. Nice, yeah. Don't worry, I always make videos that I enjoy making. I'm not trying to be clickbaity or look up YouTube ideas, what is trending, what gives you the most clicks. Like I don't care about that kind of stuff, and I'm not trying to attract any amount of people onto my channel by doing something. Like you guys said, making money out of it is not the focus at all. It'd be a nice side effect, obviously. Everyone would not be upset about that, but it's definitely not the focus. So I'm only making what I enjoy. So, but I appreciate that you said that. Thanks. Yes. I'm glad you guys had a good conversation with each other too. And we can all learn from each other. It's just so funny that we all come from different backgrounds, like funny and insightful. Has his own cultural background. Then you, Shuriken, you have yours and I have mine. We got Asia, America, and Europe. And I know we all grew up differently. I mean, even if we all grew up in America, we'd still be different. You know, you don't need to be from a different continent to be different. But I think it's even cooler that we're from different continents, and in the end we come together and understand each other, and yeah, it just shows how similar humans are after all. And I wish we all would be more like this and try to understand each other and explain things to each other and help each other out, understand the world and our own mind. So that's definitely one of the goals with this channel, that we create a nice community where we can exchange things with each other and learn that humans are pretty cool after all. In a world full of ingenuity and embellishments in YouTube contents, truthful depictions of what you really feel would stand out. May get less views but can't beat the quality. Yes, I agree. And honestly, when I see stuff from bigger channels, obviously there's a lot of big channels out there that are amazing, but oftentimes when it's really, really trending stuff, I don't even click on it, or I don't even like it. Like, I usually prefer channels that are really small. Like the most channels I follow are usually smaller. Hold on a second, the dog's trying to jump off the chair. Oscar, can you imagine that? No, no. No. But yeah, oftentimes the channels I watched are really small, or at least they started out very small and caught up a little bit more traction after that, and now they're all bigger. So Shuriken, do you know a guy that's called Samurai Matcha? He is a Japanese guy. His name is Aki, I think, and he lives in Japan. He was a school teacher, and he makes a lot of videos about tea and Japanese traditions. And I'm just a Japanese obsessed person, or Japan obsessed person. My ultimate dream would be to move to Japan one day and live there. So I really enjoy all his stuff, and he's super cute or super sweet, just like an awesome person, you can tell. And he makes a lot of content about tea, like I said, living in Japan, Japanese traditions, just like philosophy and how it how the philosophies still play a role in modern life. Samurai Matcha, yes, I have watched many of his videos. He's great. Yay, nice. I watched him when he just started becoming bigger, when he was still doing his bicycle tours and his little trips in his bamboo bike. And yeah, I really enjoy his videos a lot. So he was an example. He started super small. I think he had 5,000 followers. Now he has millions, or half a million, not millions, but like close to a million, I think. And a lot of those little channels that started as little channels that are bigger now. It's good to see that those people get a lot of views now. Same, I almost go out of my way to title videos in a non-catchy way, and I might get massive views for doing tutorials, but I avoid it because I'm not a Shihan. I don't have credentials to teach Shuriken Jutsu. So you're a very modest person, that's what I take from this. And I think your viewers or your community definitely appreciates that about you, and they can feel that. Just like authenticity from you. And I think that's one of the most important things in YouTube. Just being authentic and approachable, or just a normal person and not feeling superior or anything, and thinking that you know it all. I think people can sense that, and they appreciate you just being normal and modest or humble. There's this other channel. He is a neurosurgeon, and I know he got this, that's how I found him. He had this one video that had millions of clicks, and he was talking about him being a neurosurgeon, but quitting his job to become a YouTuber, or just quitting his job in general. So people obviously clicked on it because they're like, oh, he's a neurosurgeon, how can he give up that great job and do all that education for nothing? And he talks a lot about theories and conspiracy theories, or health related things, and how to heal the body naturally without medicine. And he doesn't really believe in the medical system, even though he worked in it himself, or maybe that's the reason why, because he got a lot of insight. And his name is Gooby and Doobie, and he makes videos from hiking with his little dog too. And I found him like 9 months after I did my YouTube channel, and his content is similar to what I make, I would say, only that he's way more successful than I am. And I enjoy watching his videos. He's just sitting there talking about God and the world, like anything, and it's super interesting. He's very, very smart, and he looks like 20 even though he's 41, so he's doing something right. My husband always says that to me, if people want to give you advice, especially about health and all that stuff, he's like, if you look like SHIT, I'm usually not taking your advice. That's why I enjoy your content, I think, because of the authenticity, hard word for me to pronounce, and because you were having a very interesting conversation when I scrolled into your stream. Oh, I appreciate that. Do you remember what conversation I had? Sometimes it's just all over the place. Like, I was planning on talking about this when I started the live stream, but I kind of gave up on planning what I talk about, because it always starts off with something and ends somewhere completely different. And my mind is very from this place to this place to this place, jumping around. It's always been like that, unfortunately. It's always hard for me to collect my thoughts. But yeah, I guess just gotta accept that at one point, and nothing bad about it. But sometimes I wish I was a little bit more focused. But yeah, especially during university time, so it's hard to focus on my studies sometimes. I guess it's what you call ADHD, but I've never been diagnosed. And I'm not planning to be diagnosed, because I wouldn't even take anything for it. I don't believe in medication. But yeah, that's not a topic. I'll have to look this fellow up. Yeah, you should. I can post something into my how's it called? A community tab. You can repost videos there, so I'll probably post a video of his there. And guys, in case you guys want to look him up, he's really cool. I have to start with my Scrabble games now. We will meet again in future streams. the shuriken zone, and please boop Oscar once for me. I will. Thank you so much for hanging out and for all your insightful, and for the great conversation. I really enjoyed it a lot. I probably have to go on about my night too. I still have to clean the whole kitchen before tomorrow, before the new week starts. I hate going to the new week having everything messy, so I'm not excited for that, but I probably should have to do that, or should do that before I go to bed. I remember it. So yeah, bye insightful, bye funny. I remember that there was conspiracy theory talk, but when I first came in, I think the talk was of healthy pet food. Oh, I think, yeah, that was our pet food channel where I cooked Oscar's food. You're right. There was a lot of new people came in with this stream, and I'm definitely thinking about making another one with Oscar's food, because I'm out of Oscar's home-cooked meals, so he's back on a pebble diet for today, or kibble. I call it pebble for some reason. Sometimes I use some weird words for American or for English things, or English, I use weird translations, but I just stick with them because I'm so used to it. But yeah, have a good one, funny. I need to catch up on my journaling tonight myself. Oh, cool, you do journaling? I was trying to get into that. And I guess YouTube is a little bit like my journaling, but I think it's a very cool habit to do journaling. I did that as a teenager, and I really want to do it, and my husband too, so I think I'm going to get ourselves some journals. How long have you been doing it, Shuriken, before you leave? And are you seeing benefits from it? Are you enjoying it? Because I definitely think I want to do that too. That was one of my New Year's resolutions that I never did. The typical New Year's resolutions that never happen. It was one of those. And I also gotta start cutting my vlog for tomorrow, because tomorrow by afternoon I want to upload it. It's gonna be a little Nashville fun vlog, nothing educational or anything, just like a more like eating your dinner and watching something while you eat kind of vlog. But I enjoy those, or making those sometimes. Not everything needs to be super informational and deep, I guess. Sometimes I'm just enjoying showing you guys the area where I live, or just showing you guys cool places. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do after I clean the kitchen and cut my video. I like cutting my videos. I really enjoy the process, but it just takes me forever, and I'm a perfectionist, so it's already stressing me out before I even started, because I know it's gonna be stressful, if that makes sense. I think about 3 years. I love it. And whenever someone has questions about exactly when something happened, they ask me to consult the journal. Yeah, that's one good thing. That's what I was thinking too. Just I imagined not too long ago, I was thinking about how I wish I would have journaled my entire life through, and just have that those books that I can go through and look for certain things that happened, and just read back and see how the situations actually happened, because sometimes you remember things wrong and less detailed. So that would be amazing to have. So it's great that you do that. And yeah, very, very cool. Thank you so much for hanging out and giving me your insights too. That's very, very insightful, as like a funny and insightful name. I really appreciate you taking the time and hanging out, and I hope to see you next time. I'm excited for your next video, and yeah, say hi to your cat and to Mackenzie, and enjoy. Oh, though she's sleeping, but So probably don't say hi, but to your cat, please. And enjoy your evening and journaling. And I will have some fun cleaning the kitchen. Woo. Can't wait. Have fun editing videos. Thank you. Oh, you have fun editing videos too. Yeah, it is fun. Just creating something and then uploading it and just watching it for the first time. And just thinking that you just like did that for like the last 10 hours or so, and now it's done and out there and people can watch it and you can watch it yourself and you just have it in your video diary basically. That's how I consider my YouTube, just a video diary. Yeah, just creating stuff is just so much fun. I guess similar with journaling, you're also creating your own book. Thanks to you too. It was fun for sure. I'll see you again. Have a good night, and I'll give the kitties your salutations. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll do the same with mine and Oscar. And I'll see you next time. Have a good night and a good evening. Bye everyone. Bye Shuriken.